Let it go. One of the hardest things that we have to deal with in all of our relationships, business and personal, is the ability to let things go when they don't go our way and we feel hurt. It's almost Yom Kippur. And during this time, it's all about atonement. It's about forgiveness, asking God, but also asking each other to be forgiven for the things we do wrong. And we all sin. We all do things that are hurtful to others. And we ask for forgiveness so that we can go into the new year with a clean slate. And according to Jewish tradition, you cannot be forgiven for sins that you commit to another person unless you ask and receive forgiveness from that person. Sometimes, though, despite the fact that we know we should be forgiving, it becomes exceedingly difficult to do because we're human and we were hurt. And sometimes we were hurt in a serious way, like employment, for example. We were let go. Or maybe our reputation was tarnished by somebody, or somebody said something really biting or hurtful. And as a result of that, we want to get them back. We want to exact revenge. And the way we can do it is to not forgive. And that is something that is human nature, like I said, so easy for us to fall into that trap. But we have to realize that in reality, what we're doing is creating a ball and chain around ourselves. It's holding us back. Because if we don't forgive, ultimately the person that we think we're hurting is continuing to hurt us. We want to get back at them, but they're continuing to hurt us even though they have no idea perhaps they even hurt us in the first place, and certainly do not know that they're continuing to hurt us by us holding on to all of that anger, all of that frustration, all of that animosity and that resentment, because we refuse to let go. So we are the ones who are carrying the burden and recognize that, or we need to recognize that we're only hurting ourselves in the process. So when I talk about letting it go, it's more than just the altruistic idea of forgiving someone, which is important in and of itself, because of course we also want to be forgiven and we need to pay that concept forward. But separate from that, we need to realize the negative implications that it has on us when we refuse to forgive someone. So here are 5 steps, 5 straightforward steps that I think we can all take. It's not easy, but if we do it, we're going to feel relief, we're going to feel positivity, and we're going to feel that we're doing the right thing at the most important time of year. Number 1, accept and let go. Whatever happened, happened. It's in the past. There's nothing we could do about it at this point. We have to accept the reality and move on. So even if we were let go, for example, the fact is that it happened already. The decision has been made. There's no turning back. Let go. Be able to focus. Try to focus your attention and energy elsewhere. Number 2, understand that there is a divine role in the process. Let's put that up there again. There's a divine role in the process. If you are a believing, obviously I'm focusing with Yom Kippur on the Jewish faith, but any person of faith, anyone who believes in God or higher spirit, recognizes that there is some type of master plan at play over here. And we are just players on the stage, so to speak. We fulfill a particular role, but it was orchestrated from above for us and for our ultimate benefit. On a personal level, when I was let go as head of school, or better yet, not renewed for my position, it was extremely painful at that time. And it was hard to let go, and there were certain people that I really wanted to make the enemy, and certainly members of my family and others that were close to me, all were trying to point fingers and identify who did the wrong thing there. But my immediate reaction was, let's put it behind us, understand that it's part of a divine plan, and to think about what is the next step in the journey. And that leads me to number 3, which is to own it. Recognize that you are not perfect. I am not perfect. I certainly did things that led to that decision that was made about my future. Right? There were elements of my relationships, elements of my behaviors that I could have done differently. I don't think that I did anything wrong per se, but I certainly could have done things better, and I needed to own that and make that part of my practice moving forward to learn from it and to grow from it. The fourth one is to focus on now. Again, similar to what we talked about before, whatever happened, happened. It's the present that matters the most. And if we could focus on everything from this point forward, the past is called the past for a reason. It's passed us by. We're now moving forward. We're now future thinking. All of our opportunity is from this point and on. And then the last one is to forgive. The fifth and the final step, of course, is the hardest step of all, is to forgive the other person for what they did, or the other people, the circumstances, whatever it is. Let it go. It doesn't mean that they don't have to own up for their behavior. But again, if you hold on to it, if you continue to make them the focus of everything that happened, and you sort of hold on to it in all of its all the emotional baggage that's carried with it, you will suffer, and on top of it, you will never feel like the situation has closed, that the story or the chapter has ended. So learn to forgive, recognize we all make mistakes, and sometimes we need to be forgiven, and we need other people to be mindful of that. So let us start the process. The more that there's forgiveness, of course, the more that there's good behavior in the first place, that we don't need forgiveness, that's even better. But the reality is we all make mistakes. Let's forgive. Let's move on. Let's make it a year where we can let it go so that we can fly, get rid of the shackles that are holding us back, and have a year of not only forgiveness and atonement, but a year of tremendous relationships, happiness, success, and productivity.